What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and I am pumped to talk to you guys about Paldea Evolved today. So I have done what I always do when a new set comes out. I've dusted off those old Excel spreadsheets. We're going to be looking at several sets that are very similar to Paldea Evolved. We're going to look at how they performed. We're going to look at certain products from those sets and see how they've performed in order to give us an idea of what we think might happen with Paldea Evolved in the future. Now, nothing is guaranteed. We don't bat 1,000 here, but I will say this. We have a pretty high batting average, and that's because typically the data doesn't lie, right? That's why I work hard for my money, you work hard for your money, and my whole purpose of doing this is because I want all of us to feel really, really good when we decide to pull that trigger. Now, there's all kinds of exciting stuff to talk about when Paldea Evolved, and we're going to get after that right now. So the very first exercise is we're going to look at Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, and we're going to look at the first 4 sets that came out for each of these, okay? 3 sets with booster boxes, and then 1 specialty set that dropped at the end of the year. So first, let's talk about the base sets, Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield. And here's one where I'm going to say it bucks the trend for me. The cardboard doesn't make any sense. When I look at Sun and Moon, you've got Umbreon, you got Espeon, you know, you've got Lily. Like, those are some big name Pokemon, right? Like, we know evolutions do really well, yet it only has a 6.45% rate of return. Then you look at Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield is almost at a 22% rate of return. Like, who's it got in there? Snorlax, Marnie, like Z and Z, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. In my mind, I feel like Sun and Moon is undervalued, and I think Sword and Shield is a little bit frothy, right? Like, I feel like it's a little overpriced. Then we're going to look at Burning Shadows, and we're going to look at Darkness Ablaze, right? We know that in the 3rd sets, they typically drop, and they typically include a Charizard. That's what's driving the big rate of return difference between these two. Burning Shadows, which has a 17% rate of return, like, that has that awesome secret rare rainbow Charizard in it, goes for almost $400, like there's less than 1,000 in PSA 10. Like, that is an epic chase card for Burning Shadows, and that's represented in that 17% rate of return, right? Then you get to Darkness Ablaze, the Charizard in there goes for 20, 30 bucks, you know? There's about 12,000 of them in PSA 10, so the chase card just isn't there. This is an example of the cardboard mattering. Now, for this exercise, we want to look at Guardian Rising and Rebel Clash because that's the slot where Paldea Evolved comes in. And the thing that was really exciting to me is look how consistent both of them have been. 14% rate of return for Guardian Rising and 13.5% for Rebel Clash. So that tells me that as long as Paldea Evolved has the same type of cardboard, the same type of chase, the same type of allure, then it will perform similarly to those other 2 sets. And a 13.5 or 14% rate of return is absolutely awesome. Now, I do want to offer a point of caution, and that's because I've seen some people talking about, you know, maybe Paldea Evolved is short printed, which can lead to some FOMO. I have no facts, I have no information, you know I'm a data first guy, this is just how I feel. I will tell you this much, I don't think it's short printed. Now, I know local card shops are saying that their allocations are lower than they've been in the past. I think the Pokemon Company is getting smart, and instead of flooding the market with all of the products right out of the gate, I think they're going to trickle it in a little bit slower. I think these local card shops are going to have the ability to buy more product for a longer period of time. Look at what happened with Scarlet and Violet. We did a whole video on why we're not buying Scarlet and Violet. We didn't say we weren't buying it long term. We just said out of the gate we weren't going to touch it with a 10-foot pole because we anticipated booster box prices plummeting, which they did. We anticipated singles prices plummeting, which they did. So all I'm saying is this, I don't want anybody to FOMO into this thinking, big influencers are saying this product is going to be short printed. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think the Pokemon Company is doing things the right way, and instead of flooding all of it into the market at once, they're going to slowly trickle it into the local card shops, which again, I don't want anybody to complain about because that's good for the local card shops, right? Like, we want them to be able to make money on this. We want them to stay open. So anyways, I support them. I just don't think it's I don't think it's a good idea for us to be spreading the idea that this might be short printed. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. We shall see. With that being said, let's look at the cardboard to see how Paldea Evolved stacks up to Guardian Rising and Rebel Clash, because that's really what we're here for. Now, before we get into that, if you guys like this type of data, if you guys like looking at things a little bit differently, if you're into the let's play chess instead of checkers mindset, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. We're building an amazing community. We have a ton of fun, and we look at some really cool stuff here on this channel, and I'd love to have you be a part of that. With that being said, it's cardboard time. Here we go, everybody. So these are the cards that I pulled pulled out. Now, this is obviously just a small smattering of what the big chase cards might be in Paldea Evolved. Now, obviously, we know that Iono is going to be a big one. Pikachu is in here. I think that is critically important. If you follow my videos, you see the grading reports that I do every single month. Pikachu is the #2 graded Pokemon every single month. Lots of fanfare, lots of collectability. We know it's going to be in the ETBs. We're going to talk about that later on in this video. But I love the fact that you got Pikachu and you have a great full art trainer there that you're going after. Raichu's in there. This Tyranitar card is getting a whole lot of love in social media. And I wanted to specifically call out that Baxcalibur card. Now, I am not saying this is the next Giratina, but what I will say is from a artwork perspective, how it's kind of abstract, it's bright. I know the Giratina is a little bit darker, but for whatever reason, this card makes me think of that Giratina alt art from Lost Origin. Now, again, it's not going to perform like that card did, but I think this could be a sneaky play in this set, and this card could perform really, really well simply from a artwork perspective. It's gorgeous. Guarantee you PikiPikaPapa is going to have a PSA 10 in his collection. I also included this Boss's Order card just because I think it's a really cool reference point, and we're going to do some comparisons here in a minute. So before we get into the older sets, let's look at Scarlet and Violet, because I thought it was really interesting when I looked at these cards. I went back and looked at the video I did on Scarlet and Violet. Look at the difference in the artwork. I went back and watched my old video, and one of the things that I called out was how this is more of a pastel set, right? Like, we knew Miriam was going to be the big chase card. It did. Unfortunately, a lot of people paid out the wazoo for it before it launched. Then it crashed like a rocket ship. Gyarados is a pretty big Pokemon, but it's no Pikachu, right? And then we have, you know, the Miraidon and the Koraidon. And anyways, I just didn't feel like there was a lot of big chase cards in here. I felt like the artwork was kind of pastel, and I think the market has responded in the same way. I think right now Paldea Evolved is hands down a more beautiful set than this one out of the gate. All right. Now, Rebel Clash. Look, Boss's Order. Boss's Order is the most expensive card in Rebel Clash right now, and we have that in Paldea Evolved. Then you have the Sonya card right here. Is the #2 card. This is the top 10 most expensive cards in Rebel Clash. You have the Sonya card. I think the Iono card is going to blow that out of the freaking water. And then after that, it gets really muddy. Like, you've got Ninetales, you've got Cinderace. Like, you just don't have a lot of big-name Pokemon cards after that. Yet we've still seen a 14% rate of return. Paldea Evolved, I think, can stand up to this. The next one we're looking at, Guardians Rising. This is where it got even more crazier for me. Like, 3 of the top 10 cards are energy cards, right? Then you have Rare Candy. Then you have Field Blower Secret. I mean, you've got a Sylvia and Rainbow is the #1 card. That Mallow card is kind of cool. But again, this is just another example of a set that was launched in the exact same series that Paldea Evolved is, right? Like, coming out #2 in the new era. And it has performed well despite the fact that it doesn't have these wonderful, huge chase cards in it. And I think Paldea Evolved stacks up really, really well to this. So far, I'm feeling pretty good about the way Paldea Evolved will stand up. And again, I just wanted to look at these one more time. Remember the last sets that we look at? Look at these. Now that you've seen the other ones, I think this stacks up really, really well. Cardboard matters. So, with that being said, there's all kinds of different products that you can buy. There's booster boxes, elite trainer boxes, sleeve booster packs, 3 blister packs. I don't have to read all this to you. There is a ton of product coming out. So where is PikiPikaPapa putting his money? Again, I promised you a data-based approach to this. This should come as no surprise if you've been watching my channel at all. I feel very, very strongly that this is where I'm going to be putting my money. And if I were you, I'd be doing the same thing. And this is why. When we look at ETBs and booster boxes from the Sword and Shield era, and then we look at the Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, look at the performance. Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs have outperformed everything. They've outperformed booster boxes, they've outperformed ETBs. I do want to call out Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. Haven't been out for that long, so we got to take it with a grain of salt. But going back to Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, all of them, without exception, have outperformed regular Elite Trainer boxes and regular booster boxes. If you think that for whatever reason this one is going to buck the trend, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but I have another really compelling reason why it won't. And that's because if you look at this, look at the promo cards that come in the Pokemon Center exclusive ETB. The Pikachus, right? Now listen, the Pikachu comes in the regular one, but if you get the Pokemon Center exclusive one, it has one additional promo card that is stamped. Here's the thing. If you think by buying a Pokemon Center exclusive ETB, all you're getting is 2 packs and an extra stamped promo, you're missing the big picture. You're not playing chess. You're playing checkers. Like, you can't see the forest through the trees. Here's what you get. You get a hobby product versus a retail product. What do I mean by that? rarity. You can go into I got a message on Facebook from Kroger, which is a grocery store, telling me to go there and pick up Pokemon ETBs, right? You don't get that for Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs. There is a rarity with this. There's an exclusivity to this, right? Pokemon Centers are only in the US, Canada, the UK, and Japan. This isn't available worldwide. Like, you are getting exclusivity, you are getting rarity, and in my mind, you're also getting a good amount of protection with this, right? I think the reprint concerns for this are much, much lower. Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, guess what? Scarlet's still available, but the Violet is sold out. Look at the Crown Zenith Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. Those are sold out. They've been sold out for a long time. I still feel like if they remain sold out, if they don't reprint them, those Crown Zenith Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs are going to be some of the best buy and hold investments for the Sword and Shield era, and we talked about that ahead of time. I'm telling you right now, if you want to buy some product and rip it and a cost per pack, this isn't the way to do it. But if you want a great product to buy and hold where you're protected, where you have some rarity, where you have some exclusivity, where you have awesome cards in that Pikachu card is fire right there, and you get one that's stamped, I don't think there's a better buy and hold for this. Now, with that being said, am I going to get some booster boxes? Of course I am. I want to have a couple sets of every single era that comes out. So I want to have every booster box from Scarlet and Violet era, every booster box from Sword and Shield era. So I'm absolutely going to buy that. Am I buying it right out of the gate? Heck no. I think that's crazy. I'm going to give it some time, just like I did with Scarlet and Violet. I'm going to let it marinate. I'm going to see where the price ends up, because I know that for a long, long time, I will be able to buy this product. I have no concerns about it being short printed. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this rundown of Paldea Evolved. If you made it all the way to the end and you're not a subscriber yet, what the heck are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. If you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up. If you have a question, drop a comment down below. I respond to all of them personally. I hope you all are having an epic week, and I can't wait to get the next video out to you guys on Friday. Have a great one, and I appreciate you. See you, everybody.